Well, hello, everybody.
Good afternoon.
Thank you so much for coming. I'm going to have this handed out. I want everybody to be looking at this. You're going to see some pictures out here that are very important. It's an honor to be here today. I'm very grateful to be here today. And I'm grateful to CCM for helping us make this happen. Wonderful staff, wonderful facilities. We couldn't do it without the help of CCM. I'm grateful to Randolph Township for helping us put this together. And I'm grateful to all of you who showed up today in the bad weather. So I'm particularly grateful that I'm not one of those 58,000, 58,307 names now on that wall, because I may well have been. I was wounded in Vietnam when I was 19 years old. And a heroic helicopter pilot airlifted me out of a combat zone and saved my life. And I've been very grateful ever since. And I must honor those who are on that wall, as well as the 3 million who served in that war and about 300,000 who were wounded. And isn't it strange that we meet here today when this nation is once again almost on the brink of war? We don't want to realize that. We don't want to say it, but we are. And once again, we are sending thousands of our young men and women into dangerous places where they are willing to die for the honor of this nation, for the commitments we make. They are willing to die, just like these guys died. Okay? So, this wall is known as the Healing Wall because 50 years ago, it was just like this. At the beginning of the war, everybody's saying, yeah, we got to help those people. They're being invaded. They're being slaughtered. We got to help those people. By the end of the war, a lot of the people were saying, those veterans are no good. They're baby killers. And many of these veterans, not the ones on the wall, but the ones you'll find at Lions, suffered from neglect, suffered disrespect, suffered vile slurs from their own neighbors. And that's what we have to heal. That's what we have to heal. People have to realize that these men on that wall were honorable. Honorable. They fought for this nation. Okay? So they were despised and they were reviled by their neighbors. That has to be healed. And that's why we have these proclamations being made today. And we are so grateful for that. And by we, I mean my friends, my comrades. Frank from the Vietnam Veterans of America. Say hello to everybody. Say hi, Frank. This guy's a hell of a patriot. You've been fighting this war for a long time. I know that. Deacon Rich Reck, stand up for a minute. Turn around, say hello. Come on, get up. Emerson Crooks. He's going to be speaking to you shortly. And he's one of the folks who made this thing happen. He's been fighting to get this thing into town for a long time now. And thanks to Senator Bucco, we finally got it done. And also, John Riley, our senior vice commander. I'm just the vice commander. He's the senior vice commander because he's taller than me and got more hair.
Not really.
Okay. Then we got Matthew. Matthew, please stand up. Bozek, member of VFW. All right. So we're alive. We're here. We're glad to be here. And we thank you for being here. So I'm now going to turn this over to Emerson to talk a little bit about why he insisted on bringing this wall to Randolph. Come on up, Emerson.
Thank you, Bill. That was a good opening, good rousing opening. It's been a long journey for me to get this wall here in our county, my town, in my neighborhood. And the journey started basically in earnest maybe 5 years ago. And different things came up, so we weren't able to bring it here. And so I was at the senator's office a few months back, and he says, Emerson, what about that wall that you were running around and just bugging everybody about? What happened? You dropped it. He says, well, let's pick it back up, and I'll help you. So I went up. I found out where the next stop for the wall would be, and I went and I approached the folks that controls the wall, and I just went ahead and signed up without even saying anything to the rest of the post. And so now I bring it back and I says, guys, I signed a contract and put us down as the sponsor of the wall. It's a pretty big undertaking. And so quite naturally, it was a little bit of a shock for them because they said, we've seen this. It's a big project. It's monumental. So I says, don't worry. We have Senator Bucco. And so it went like that. And we now I'm so proud of them because they have, I brought in folks, Frank Armenio, Frank Ott from the Red Cross, Dave Pearson from Catholic Charities, and a whole host of other organizations, along with the county that's stepping up, and just the whole neighborhood. The president of the college, he was phenomenal. That's another story. He showed up to a meeting at the senator's office, and he says, oh, yes, and he looked at everything. He was excited about this. He says, yeah, I'll just turn this over to some of my folks, and we'll be good. And so that was Mr. Ackerman. He showed up, and he says, oh, yes, he does promise all these things. Whether we... But they've been rising to the occasion, and I think we're going to have a wonderful event. I know here we have folks here from our community that have friends, some have friends, and some have family on the wall. I have family. I have family that you met at Paris Island. You didn't know they were family, but they became family. And when you're there, when they draw their last breath, and you know there's nothing you could do, you struggle with whether there was nothing you could do because the guilt that comes with that lives with you for a long time because you second guess yourself. Should I have done this instead of that? If I had done that, would Mike be still alive? And then you go through. The reason I bring this up, which is something I never do except with a counselor that I've been seeing for many, many years at the VA. But I bring it up to let you know how important this is, not just to me, but to a lot of the veterans that's been discounted a little bit. And you see them walking around sort of disheveled now. You see them walking around, and they don't garner the same respect they had when they were sharp. I mean, believe it or not, I was sharp in my Marine Corps uniform. And you don't garner the same respect, but they deserve that respect. And so I dedicate a lot of my time to honor those folks. And the way I do it is by committing myself to constant service. Folks here that know me will know that I spend most of my time either at Lyons VA, at the Vet Center, or someplace doing something for veterans. And this is, I remember when you have to do the tedious task of taking your squad members' personal material and pack it up, and folks had to do some other you have to do some other gruesome things to get them home to their relatives. It leaves you a certain way. And so I am so happy and so pleased for this community bringing the names, people like Mike Poliquin and the rest of the 5 squad members that I lost in one night. Was August 19th. We're going to be right here in my own neighborhood. That's very impactful to me. And I'll say this to you, and that's it. I do this, and I speak at schools sometimes, and I tell the young people that I visit the wall every year with a group of my veteran comrades. And I go to the Vietnam Wall, and there's a lot of people there, this big crowd. I go over to the World War II, and it's less. And then I go to the World War I, and there's no one there. And what I say to the kids, I says, I come to you, and I plead to you that don't let what happens at World War I Memorial happen to the Vietnam Memorial. Now, not everyone have a chance to go to D.C. to see it. And so the reason we bring it here is so the children in the neighborhood and all the folks in the neighborhood could see it and see how emotional, how dramatic. When you look at the names on there, next time you go to Giant Stadium or somewhere to a game and they said there's 60 or 70,000 people, you look around, and that equates to what's on that wall. It's a lot of people. So that's why, and so I'm so grateful. And just let's instill this on the community and on our children to never forget. And it's a very critical time right now because, like Bill said, there's a possibility that we could be drawn into another conflict. And when I hear these type of things, my mind starts to reflect on what the average young Marine or Army soldier, what's he thinking about? I know what he's thinking about. I know what it feels like to be dropped off in some strange place in the middle of the night. And so I kind of know what that's like. And so that's what brings me to this level of emotion. And so I thank you again. I can't thank the Senator enough. God bless you. God bless you.
I also want to mention Jack Sassaman, because before he passed, he was a big advocate of this program, and we thank him. And I know he's listening right now, checking the uniforms. I'd like to introduce the president of CCM, Dr. Anthony J. Iacono. I hope I said that right. Thank you. Thank you for your support, sir. Thank you.
I love being back in the North where my name is pronounced correctly. In the South, it comes out all kinds of ways. And I never have to say up here, I'm not Iacocca. That's a different guy with a different car. Thank you. And Emerson, thank you. I learn and gain perspective every time I have the opportunity to hear from you, so thank you. We appreciate your acknowledging the college, but as the community's college, it's our responsibility and really our privilege to be able to do things like this. Some of the people who experience CCM experience it in our classrooms, and they're working toward degrees and certificates. But actually, many more people who experience County College Morris experience it in ways like this. And these are ways that couldn't happen without great partners. So it really is an honor and privilege to be able to do this for our veterans and giving us the opportunity to do something for you after what you have done for us and for this country. And in reality, we wouldn't be here, and we wouldn't certainly be doing the things that we're able to do every day had you not done what you have done. So please, it really is a privilege that we're very grateful for the honor of being able to support you on. My most modest friend, it does take a team. We were chatting earlier, but every team needs a leader. When I got that phone call That was wonderful, and it was Senator Bucco who got us together, pulled us into a room, and had a lot of energy in that room and a lot of purpose in that room, so thank you. Continuously over and over, you give our college great opportunities to support, and we really do appreciate that. A lot of people here, and let me acknowledge a few of them. Please forgive me if I don't acknowledge you, or I may have missed you in some way. It's not intentional, but let me just take a moment to acknowledge some of those. Of course, Senator Anthony Bucco and Assemblywoman Ora Dunn are with us today. By all means, some of you are, of course. And I see we have with us also Commissioners Crickus and Smith. Shaw, I'm sorry, Smith. Steve, sorry. I'll get talked to later. I do know the difference. Okay. A number of other individuals we have here with us. I made some quick notes on that as well. I know that we have representatives from Congresswoman Cheryl's office, Kelly Doucette, who's very supportive and engaged continuously with the college as well. Kelly, thank you and welcome. And I know from her Veterans Military Affairs, Willie, you're with us, and thank you. Always nice to see you. We appreciate the support that you're showing today and have shown our college in the past as well. Thank you for that. And I see we have Councilman Mike Ganamort is with us from Chester. Welcome. Thank you. And Randolph's mayor with us as well. There we are in the back. Mayor, thank you for being with us today. Much appreciated. And then I am really appreciative. I want to recognize Brian Murray and Melissa Albright do a lot of behind-the-scenes work and organizing and getting everything ready so we can be in the room, helping the community know about what's going on. We know that we want, as Emerson says, not everyone has the chance to go to D.C. and see the wall, and this is an opportunity for individuals to be able to do that here, veterans and non-veterans alike, and to pay their respects, to honor and to remember. So we appreciate that opportunity as well, and Melissa and Brian really help amplify that and make it possible. And Kathleen is right, and Allison Ognabeni, so it does take a team. And then I do want to say, I see Steve Ackerman in the back, who came back from your first meeting with as much enthusiasm as I had there as well. My team knows my motto is find a way to yes. We're here to serve, and you can't be a great college and you can't serve the community if your leading word is no. So find a way to yes, and we're glad we found a way to yes on this. We have some others who are with us today. Our past board chair and veteran, Vietnam veteran of the Army, Paula Citra, is with us today. Paul works very hard on this behind the scenes, and this has really brought even more energy to the front of this whole initiative. So we know that one of the things we'll be doing, we try to do as much as we can for our veterans and always realize as we learn more, there's more we can do. So we're in discussions about establishing a veterans center at CCM as well. And that was an outgrowth of the first meeting learning, the support we could get and the things that we could do that are more sustainable as well. Sitting alongside of him is Mr. Martin Schmidt, who's a member of our Veterans Advisory Group at CCM. Thank you for being with us as well. And then we've got some friends with us that I tell you, you pick up the phone and you call Bob Flynn from First Energy. Where's Bob? I saw you earlier. And Bob's another guy. His mission is to find a way to yes, if he can help people, if First Energy can be involved. They are, and he and his company are continuously at CCM supporting the community, supporting students and so forth. Bob, welcome. We appreciate you. Then I do want to recognize also we have Vice President Betty Simmons, who's with us. Betty, I see in the back. And coordinates the support for veterans, for our students who come to us as well. And then we have Patrick Enright, our Vice President for our Community Partnership and Workforce Programs. Patrick, great. Okay. And a host of others. I do want to say thank you to our plant and maintenance team for getting the roads cleaned up and on the campus and the pathways to get in and so forth. We knew they could do it. We canceled classes today because the interior part of campus is a mess. We know it will be, but we knew we can get this part open for an event this important. There was no way we were not going to do it. Mayor Blackman, where are you? There you are. Always wonderful to have you on campus. Welcome back, and thank you for the continued support of all things that we're able to do for the community. Nice to see you here. Thank you. With that, let me move over. We've got a lot on the program to cover, but again, it's our honor, it's our privilege, but it does take a big team to be able to do this. We're here because of you. We're here for you, and thank you again for the honor of allowing us to support you in this way also. Thank you.
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial is a national memorial in Washington, D.C., honoring service members of the United States Armed Forces who fought in the Vietnam War. Completed in 1982, the memorial site features 2 polished black granite walls etched with the names of over 58,000 service members who were killed in action in Vietnam and Southeast Asia during the war. After attending the memorial's opening ceremonies, John Devitt conceived of the moving wall, a traveling half-size replica of the wall, for those who do not have the opportunity to travel to Washington to pay their respects at the memorial. The moving wall made its debut in 1984 and has been on display at sites across America. On Friday, July 8th, VFW Troop 7333 brings the Vietnam Veterans Memorial moving wall to County College of Morris for a weekend display featuring ceremonies and salutes throughout the weekend.
Coming home isn't easy when you've been away so long. When Billy was only 18, he spent a lifetime in Vietnam, fighting in the darkness. Will the morning ever come? With sounds of battle all around, the war goes on and on. There were husbands, sons, and brothers who stood proud and brave and tall. You can read their names in granite when you're standing at the wall.
The Vietnam Veterans Memorial moving wall will be on full display on the County College of Morris campus on the lower soccer field, adjacent to Parking Lot 1, just off Center Grove Road. The wall will be open morning, noon, and night, beginning Friday, July 8th through Sunday, July 10th, for those who wish to pay their respects to those lost in the Vietnam War in Southeast Asia.
Thank you so much, Joe. Wonderful video. We're going to make sure a lot of people see it. We hope to have 20 to 30,000 people come to this event. We have the capacity to do so thanks to this giant parking lot and all the wonderful staff, like the security folks. And thank you, John Fichter. We need you for this, obviously. There's 69 names on the wall from Morris County and 7 from the post 7333 service area, particularly Dover. So we're going to honor them. And I will now introduce State Senator Anthony Bucco, who's always been a good friend to us, always been a great friend to the veterans. Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. To all the veterans that are in the room today, thank you for your service. To those that served in Vietnam, welcome home. It's long overdue, long overdue. Well, Emerson, did you ever think we'd get here? Right? We talked about it early on, and I don't think I used those words bugging everybody about it, but I could tell you he didn't give me much choice because he walked into my office and handed me the contract that he signed and said, okay, it's coming. But it's been an honor to work with you and to be your friend. And when we get this wall here in July, it is going to open the eyes of a lot of people. And it's something that is necessary. It's something that is long overdue. And it's something that we can all be proud of. Now, a number of people today have said that I was instrumental in getting this done. I can tell you what I was instrumental in doing. And that was putting the right people together to get it done. When you call Dr. Iacona and you ask him if he's going to be involved, they normally don't say no to the senator. So, but you go to the right people. Randolph, CCM, the veterans organizations, Christian charities, you know, the list goes on and on and on. And once people understand what this project is all about, it makes it easy. And I'm just so proud of being able to be a part of this and to make this a reality here in Morris County. You know, the numbers have been mentioned, more than 58,000 Vietnam veterans killed or died in service. More than 1,500 from New Jersey. You heard 69 from Morris County and 7 right from the Randolph Post, from the towns that are represented by the Randolph Post. 3 million veterans fought, 117,000 from New Jersey, 729 prisoners of war, and let us never forget the 1,200 still missing in action today. And that's why we do what we do. Because the people that come here, that will come here for different reasons. Some will come here because they know someone on the wall. Some will come to pay respects to the veterans. Children will come to learn about the Vietnam War and to try to understand why it occurred and what we fought for. And in today's world, we get a sense of it right now when we look at the Ukraine and we understand the price of freedom here in our own country. We know what it took to make our country free, to bring freedom here. And that has occurred ever since. And whenever there's been a call to action, whenever there's been a call to help another nation towards freedom, the United States has never wavered. And it's the men and women of our armed forces that put themselves in harm's way, that give people hope, not only here in New Jersey, not only in our country, but around the world, a hope of freedom. And that's what this wall represents. So I'm honored today to play just a small part in it, and I'm honored to kick it off by presenting a joint Senate and Assembly resolution to the Post, recognizing how important this day will be and just what it means not only to Morris County, not only to Randolph, but to the state of New Jersey. So thank you and God bless you.
This guy class act or what? You got to vote for him. All right. Next, we are honored to have Assemblywoman Ora Dunn make a presentation for Gold Star families, and you're going to introduce. Okay, please come on up. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I'm Assemblywoman Dunn, and I am incredibly honored to be part of this event today. First, I need to thank the committee, spearheaded by the VFW Post. I hope I'm saying it correctly, 7333. All right. I was going to say 7333, but see, my instinct was right. Really, you've spearheaded this, and it is remarkable. We're here at the launch. In 1982, there was a promise to never forget Vietnam veterans. And man, are these guys men of their word. That's 40 years later. So thank you. We know that we've got a little, you gave us some statistics, but I wanted to add some more, Bill. I do like the fact that that you noted there are eight women inscribed on the wall. All were nurses. Did you know that there were 16 clergy, 7 Protestant, 7 Catholic, and 2 Jewish? There were also 120 individuals from countries all across the world whose homes were not, their home of record was not listed as the U.S. So I thought those were interesting statistics. The moving wall has been traveling for 30 years, visiting a variety of states. New Jersey hasn't really frequented New Jersey, and this will be the first it arrives in Morris County. So I guess our reputation as the state of potholes and jug handles maybe worked against us. But we are the home of 400,000 veterans. 20,000 of them live here in Morris County. And our highest concentration of veterans in the state are Vietnam veterans. As a member of the New Jersey Legislature, I really every day ask myself, how can we be making the state a better place for veterans and military families? I can tell you today is an example that we're on the right path. We're making sure that we welcome back every veteran with a hero's welcome, the welcome that they deserve. And we're also making sure that we preserve our history for future generations, that they truly understand freedom is not free. So as you know, the wall is a replica of the Vietnam Veterans Wall with the 58,000 names inscribed. Did you also know that there was no federal funding allocated? All through donations from individuals, corporations, unions. So we're in a little bit of the same boat here, right, gentlemen? Correct. So it's donors like you that we're counting on to make this event a success in July. And really, again, I have to thank you because I know that's the hardest job, right? Raising funds. So thank you for your tireless advocacy on that, bringing the moving wall to us. We know it's just a traveling exhibit, right? It's going to be an experience that will enrich the lives of everyone who comes to visit. And I want to make a pledge today that I will reach out to every school in this county to ensure that students, our students, get to experience this in mind, heart, and of course, it's going to be in person. So you can, I'm a woman of my word. You can remind me. So in closing, I do want to recognize some special guests. We have the honor of having Gold Star mother Charlene Cosgrove with us today. Charlene, will you please stand? Charlene's son, Christopher, Marine Lance Corporal Christopher Cosgrove III, valiantly served in Fallujah, Iraq, one of the greatest Marine battles ever. Charlene, we thank you for your advocacy on behalf of Gold Star families. It's a community like no other, but it's also a membership that we strive to be of none. And I hope I'm going to give a little announcement here. Please, to find out more about the Gold Star families, check out their website. It's goldstarmothersnj.org. We are indebted to you always, Charlene, for your sacrifice which no parent should ever bear. And also in attendance, late, but he arrived, is my dad, Neil Kenny. A Purple Heart Marine who at the age of 18, see, I was going to do this dry-eyed if you weren't here, fought in the bloodiest battle of Vietnam, Khe Sanh. Many of his fellow Marines' names are inscribed to that wall, and I know that parts of my dad remain on the battlefield with his comrades. Had he not made it home, I wouldn't be here today. He taught me what it means to be a warrior and how to fight every battle that's worth fighting with honor. Dad, I couldn't be prouder to live out your legacy as a public servant and an advocate for the people. You and all our families, military families, will help us move forward toward our founding principle, e pluribus unum, in many, one. Thank you.
What a wonderful speech. We now have a county proclamation from an ex-Marine. You still ex-Marine? I think so. I knew you'd say that. John Crickus, our commissioner. Thank you for coming.
We didn't rehearse that ahead of time. First, let me start with some thank yous, and to thank you, Bill, and your post for all the work that you're doing to put this together. To Dr. Iacona and all the staff here at CCM, everybody who's supporting it. And I want to acknowledge our county, Morris County family members who are helping with this. Joe Barilla and Jan Williams for Morris County Planning Office who are putting together all the veterans who served in Vietnam, gathering that information. They're right there in the back, so please contact them. And Christine Heiler, who oversees our veteran service officers, who are doing a great job. So I wanted to start by saying I avoided service in Vietnam because when the Paris Peace Treaty was signed, I was 12 years old. I did join the United States Marine Corps Reserves 5 years later. And, you know, one thing I wanted to share listening to the senator and listening to Aura talk is I was 17 when I enlisted, and the Gold Star mother here. And when you're 17, your parents have to sign the papers. And I remember the look on my mom's face when she signed the paper. She didn't look too happy. But you know, when you're 17, you're joining the Marines, you just want to join the Marines and get in there. And that look always stayed with me. I never really figured it out till later on. Sometimes you put two and two together. Because, you know, she was born 1930. She was a bobby socker during World War II, saw Frank Sinatra. And I remember her telling me about going to the theater and they would show newsreels. And one newsreel she always would mention to me was from the Marines fighting in the Pacific and those who were killed in action at the beach. And I think what a knucklehead I was, having her sign those papers. And we think of the families, the parents, all the families, and let's not forget their service, because they don't know what's happening. The closest one in their lives, a son, a daughter, a husband, spouse, is away, and they don't know what's happening, and they have to stay, and they're serving, and they serve as well. So I did join the Marines, 1978. All of my, or most of my drill instructors and platoon sergeants were Vietnam veterans, not so much the officers, they were new. They were just out of school and everything. So I learned a lot. And while I served with people who served in Vietnam, I may have used some of your equipment that you wore. If you remember the web belt and the ammo pouches, the canteen that you kept filled, right, for noise discipline. Flak jacket, helmet liner, the covering. And in the Marines, if you left the buckle hanging down, you would have some sergeant, Marine, who do you think you are, John Wayne? Buckle that helmet up, right? Not supposed to run around with the helmet unbuckled. Your pack with the sleeping bag, air mattress, and of course, the infamous sea rations, sea rats, right? Beef, bean with frankfurters, or I swear, I always seem to get every time pork slices, right? It was just pork slices. I think that has to do with Iowa being the first state in the presidential primary. They ordered so much pork. The can opener that we would create a little stove with, and that can opener in the Marines we called a John Wayne, of course. And you put the heat tab in there and heat up your meal. The poncho, ever-present poncho. M16, M60s, Hueys, Chinook helicopters. And I think the youth today might have trouble understanding this, but how great a letter from home was. There was no FaceTiming back then. But you, the Vietnam veterans, you know what the men and women on the wall experienced. From your training to arriving in Vietnam at Tan Son Nhut Airport or Cam Ranh Bay, or serving on a ship in the Gulf of Tonkin or the South China Sea or an air base in Thailand. Only you, the Vietnam veterans, know the sights, the sounds, the smells of Vietnam, from Saigon to Da Nang, the Mekong Delta, the Central Highlands, the DMZ, and thousands of bases and fire bases in between. You know, America in the 60s was the America that you served in. Jimi Hendrix and the Beach Boys. Baseball games that actually took 2 hours when you had Bob Gibson or Don Drysdale pitching. And they were broadcast over a transistor radio. That was called live streaming back then, transistor radio, right? That was the America that you knew. And that was the America that the names of the wall were forever young. Their lives were in that time. And as time passes, we need to remember, yes, but we also need you, the Vietnam veterans, to tell your story, because it's their story as well. Sometimes people ask, you know, why did you serve? Why did you join? And actually, I think one of the most important answers, there are many answers to that, but one of the most important answers I heard recently came from Supreme Court Justice Stephen Breyer just a few weeks ago when he was announcing his retirement. He said, we have a country that's based on human rights and democracy. And he went on to talk about, I'm going to paraphrase him here, that through our history, other countries have doubted whether our democracy would continue. He talked about Washington and Lincoln and how they referenced that over and over. A good example of that, and the term they used was experiment. So as in the Gettysburg Address, we are now engaged in a great civil war to determine whether a nation or any nation so conceived and so dedicated can long endure. It's an experiment. It may not go from generation to generation. But the men and women on this wall, they accomplished their mission. They defended this nation, and they gave their lives so this experiment in democracy could continue. And while we mourn their sacrifice, we should also celebrate that great gift of democracy that they gave us. We want to honor their memory, and the best way is we can pass that experiment on to the next generation. Thank you very much. And Bill, every politician who comes here has to have a proclamation, and this is from Morris County to you and your post for hosting the wall. Facing the camera right here. All right, thank you, Bill. Make sure I don't take your notes.
This is wonderful. Thank you so much. Beautiful, beautiful proclamation. We're honored. Next, we have our very own Randolph Mayor, Marie Potter. Please, come on up. Thank you for all your support and help.
Yes, I will be adding to your collection here. First of all, I want to say thank you very much to our VFW Post for 7333 for bringing this here to Randolph. It's definitely going to be an emotional experience for everyone. I know personally I was a child during the war, but now my perspective has changed. I'm a mother of 4 children in their 20s, so my perspective has changed, and I expect that to affect me as I walk through that memorial. I want to thank you very much for doing that here. So I'd like to offer this proclamation to you. Honoring Vietnam Veterans Tribute Days, July 7th to 11th, 2022. Whereas we salute the more than 3 million Vietnam veterans who, as part of our country's historical heritage, fought gallantly against the tyranny of communism and defended the Vietnamese people against invasion. And whereas we are honored to have had more than 117,000 citizens from New Jersey serve in Vietnam War, and whereas we are forever indebted to the more than 58,000 Vietnam War veterans who were killed or died in service, of which more than 1,500 were from New Jersey, and of those, 69 of them from Morris County, and 7 of them were from towns represented by Randolph VFW Post 7333. And whereas we honor the more than 300,000 who were wounded, the 729 prisoners of war who were repatriated, and more than 1,200 personnel still missing in action. And whereas we extend our deep and heartfelt gratitude to the Gold Star families who still mourn the loss of a father, a mother, a son, a daughter, an aunt, an uncle, or other relative, and to all those who mourn for a fallen comrade. Now, therefore, be it resolved that I, Marie Potter, Mayor of the Township of Randolph, do hereby declare July 7th, 2022 to July 11th, 2022 to be a Vietnam Veterans Tribute Days in Randolph, New Jersey, as exemplified by our hosting the moving wall at the County College of Morris. It's a great honor to be the host municipality. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
You bring tears to my eyes. That was really beautiful. Thank you so much, Maria.
Do you want me to take that?
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
And we're very pleased to have with us a representative from the Congresswoman Mikey Sherrill, Willie Tolba, and Kelly Doucette. Thank you so much for coming.
Oh, of course.
Please.
Of course, thank you. Thank you all so much. I mean, this is such an amazing effort, and it's just so important. And the Congresswoman really wishes she could be here. Unfortunately, she had to stay in Washington today for some votes that came up. However, she does send a proclamation as well, so we're gonna add to your stack. And I'll go ahead and I'll read an abbreviated version here. And the rest will be out for everyone later. So the 11th Congressional District of the great state of New Jersey honors our nation's Vietnam veterans for their sacrifice and courage. So be it known that the undersigned member of the United States Congress, the Honorable Mikey Sherrill of the 11th Congressional District of the state of New Jersey, hereby honors our nation's Vietnam veterans for their service and sacrifice to the United States of America, and honors July 7th through 11th as Vietnam Tribute Days, during which the moving wall will be hosted at the County College of Morris, signed Mikey Sherrill, March 2022.
Thank you so much.
No, thank you guys so much for doing this. It's so
We look forward to seeing you in July.
Absolutely.
I just have a few highlights can you hand that out to everybody? I want everybody to have that. I'd like to make a couple of comments about the program. The July 7th through 11th time period, what we'll be doing, and you've seen some of that already on here, but it's going to be quite remarkable, I think. First of all, I want everybody to know that this is all volunteers. There's no tax money here. It's all donations, okay? So We have raised about $15,000 so far. We need another 15. Please tell your friends. Okay. We have signed up 30 volunteers. We need another 70. We're not worried about it because we know a lot of people are interested in this. But once again, tell your friends. And I think it's going to be a great community effort. I have a feeling about it that is just remarkable. So we will be having, on July 8th is our launch date. We will having a prayer by Deacon Rich Reck. Stand up for a minute. This guy is a hell of a deacon. He's our chaplain. Does a wonderful job. Most caring chaplain I ever met. I'm making you embarrassed, right? Yeah, okay. Seriously, wonderful person. We will have an anthem, a Pledge of Allegiance, a rifle salute, and we will have the Randolph Proclamation by Marie Potter and the Morris County Proclamation by John Crickus to everybody who's coming, which will be hundreds and hundreds of people. So it'll be sort of like what you saw today. This was like a dress rehearsal. And then we will have taps at 8 o'clock at night. And it'll be open 24 hours. And there'll be security provided by the county and the town and the sheriff's office. We will also have present the Vietnam Vet Center, Vet Center, right? For those who need it. So, on July 9th is the grand opening, and we're honored to have joining us Bishop Sweeney from the Diocese of Paterson. And he will be doing the opening prayer. And then we will have an honor guard posting the colors, a rifle salute, and we will have a proclamation from Senator Bucco and U.S. Congresswoman Sherrill, and we will have a presentation of Gold Star families from Ora Dunn. Now, don't say you ain't going because you already seen it, okay? You haven't seen it. This will be a big deal. We will have a wreath laying, a ceremony where the VFW Posts throughout the county will be putting up wreaths, and the veterans of foreign wars, veterans of Vietnam, veterans of America, disabled American veterans, the fire department, the police department, everybody will be putting up wreaths. It'll be a very, very touching ceremony. And perhaps we will have a flyover. We're not sure yet. But at a minimum, we'll have some drones. Right? We'll for sure have some drones. Okay. And we will have the taps at 8 o'clock. Very for sure that we're going to be doing that. July 10th, we'll have the prayer by Rabbi Asher Herson. And the same kind of event again. But we will also have Emerson Crooks sing God Bless America. And I know you're going to want to be there for that because he's a heck of a singer. On July 11th, the wall will be dismantled. We'll have a closing ceremony. And the prayer will be from Reverend Tim Clarkson from the Union Hill Presbyterian Church in Denville. And once again, we'll have the national anthem and a rifle salute, and we'll retire the colors. And the wreaths will be removed, and all the mementos that people put on the walls will be collected and given to Jan Williams, who's a historian for Morris County. Yes? Okay. And I think, Emerson, you're going to have to sing one more time. Okay. And that's going to be the event. Sound good? All right. Closing remarks, please. Yes, yes. Oh, yeah, okay. I'm sorry. I just handed out, I think everybody got, we're going to have a program guide, 32 pages. We already have a bunch of people advertising, but we'd like to have more. And on the back, you can see how you can put in an ad, place an ad, or be a sponsor, or just make a donation. Okay? Thank you, Rich. Thank you.
I tell you, I arrived with hope, and I'm leaving inspired and even more grateful, just having heard your comments. Thank you so much, and I do look forward to all of you being here. Emerson, I didn't know you sang, so I will really look forward to it. There are refreshments and goodie bags on the side, and we invite you to enjoy those and to stick around a little bit and enjoy some fellowship. Thank you.